was going on there? You accused TJ of sucking up to the ref?
Yeah, that's what he does. That's what he does. Oh, sorry, my bad. He's always messing with the ref, so it's just part of who he is.
Okay, so you're a week out from the regular season. How far along is the squad? What should fans expect here?
I think we're, still obviously establishing our principles. We did some really good things in both games. We let New York get away from us, and I thought we did a lot better job against Charlotte, but New York came and kind of punched us in the mouth, especially in the second quarter and the fourth quarter were pretty rough for us. And so we just got to keep, ironing those out. We've spent, the past couple of days doing so. Just keep talking as a team and as a unit where we can get better. And as we, get into tomorrow and preseason, I think the preseason is more for building, right? More for getting down principles, getting down your sets, sharpening things up. So when the season comes, you're ready. And I think, by the time it's time to go, I think guys will be ready. And I think it'll be really exciting. We're really young, obviously, got a lot of room to grow, a lot of fresh faces. So it'll be a lot of fun.
Rick was mentioning on Sunday that the Knicks are a tough team. You're going to have to play them again tomorrow. What's one thing you've already learned after playing the Knicks?
Well, I think any team what we know, right, from Tibbs being in New York is how hard his teams play. They're going to get into the ball, they're going to rebound, and they're not going to stop. Once they see something that they like, they're going to keep going to it. They got Julius and Mitch going at rebounds hard. RJ shot it well against us. Obviously, Jalen, got paid for a reason. He's a really good player. So they just got a lot of different guys who bring a lot of different things to the table, and they're young too. They play hard, so they kind of bring some similar to us, where they're going to punch you in the mouth too. So just got to be ready for that.
What impressed you about your team against the Knicks?
I would say just kind of the way we rebounded, right? I think in the second quarter we were probably down at 25 at one point, and third quarter got it down to single digits. So I think just like the rebound and just the energy from our bench, I thought was really good. They played a lot better in Charlotte than they did in New York, but I just thought when they weren't on the floor, staying engaged, things like that matters.
What have you learned about this young team already? It's kind of fun to see the changeover here, all the new young talent.
Yeah, I mean, I've been on 2 young teams already in my 2 years in the NBA. There's ebbs and flows that come with it, right? And something I talked about was when we get in practice, we've been competing really hard, really getting after each other. And that's important. And the hard part for young teams is to translate to do that every night against other players, right? When you don't know these guys, it's different. You don't know what to expect. So we just got to be able to continue to do those things as games come, because that's, that obviously matters more. But I think it's just going to be about consistency, right? And building off the right things, taking the wrong things and using them to grow the right ways.
What have you seen from Ben Mathurin that you've liked so far?
Oh, I thought he's done a really good job. Obviously, you guys see he's had 2 really good preseason games for us. I think something I love about Ben is he's a gamer. When it's time to go, he's ready to go. And I don't know if we've played longer than a minute together in this preseason so far. So I've had a front row seat to watch him perform and do really well. So I'm really excited for what he's doing.
Sorry, how have you embraced your role as a leader on this team?
Yeah, it's been a learning process for sure. Because there's days where you don't play so well, and you still got to bring that energy, still got to lead the right way even when you're struggling. And I think I talk a lot about like relationship equity, right? Like people got to believe in you and the relationship you guys have to listen to what you have to say. And I just got to be true to who I am at the end of the day. And there's going to be days where I don't have the best game, but guys know what I bring to the table as a person, as a leader, how hard I work, and I think they see that gives more equity in our relationship, and my words carry more weight. So it's just about growing and creating relationships with everybody.
What's the number one thing you guys need to work on in these next preseason games before the Wizards on Wednesday?
Yeah, I would say something we struggled with in New York was rebounding, especially early in the first quarter. They had like a bunch of offensive rebounds early. In Charlotte, we dominated the paint, dominated the glass. Weren't able to do that against New York. It's a different challenge, so we're just going to, tomorrow that's really going to be a point of emphasis, is changing that. It's not going to be easy. They crash really hard. They got a lot of guys who play with a lot of energy, so for us it's just about changing that.
Ben, what's the number one thing you guys are working on for these next 2 preseason games to clean up before the Wizards next week?
Pretty much just being vocal defensively, just helping each other and making sure that we're good defensively, pretty much.
What have you learned about this team so far? You guys are so young. It's kind of fun to see this changing of the guard, you might say.
For sure. It's great, having guys like, great players, Tyrese, James Smith, and the younger guys is pretty fun to play with. I feel like I'm in the same situation as them. So I'm really excited to learn with them and grow as a team.
Does Tyrese, what does he bring to this team as far as leadership goes?
Leadership, is a big part of Tyrese, but he brings the energy, but also his work ethic. Tyrese wants to work, he wants to win, and it's a great thing to have on this team.
Coach was saying at Media Day that you're so coachable, that you just want to get better.
For
What's
sure.
the number one thing you think you've gotten better at this preseason?
Pretty much being coachable as well. Like I'm grateful to play in the NBA, but also, like I said, learning is a big part of me. Pretty much being a great teammate and coming to work every day.
Coach, how have you seen Tyrese take on a leadership role already this season?
Well, this started when he came here last, I guess it was late January. And, he was aware that this was the opportunity of a lifetime for him to, in many ways, become the face of the franchise. The guy that takes on the responsibility of being the point guard in the starting lineup because he has the ball, by nature, has a lot of that responsibility. But, when the season was over, he took 2 weeks off and he was back here in Indy working out. We had 3 optional windows for young players to come in. He was at every window. And because he was here, other guys fully participated. And that sets a great tone. And he's carried it over to training camp. So, it's an exciting time for the Pacers for a lot of reasons. But Tyrese being our starting point guard, the young core of talent that we have are among many of them.
How does that young, fresh, energetic talent make up for what they lack in experience?
Well, experience is something you just have to do. You just got to go through it. Fortunately, we have a good mix of, really great veteran guys in T.J. McConnell and Miles Turner and Buddy Hield. These guys are all established pros that have great habits. They love to play. They're great, have great work ethic, and they set a great example. And they're all nurturers by nature, So they're really enjoying, helping this young group along. And look, we'll go through some ups and downs during the season. I mean, that's inevitable, but we're going to remain consistent with how we approach coaching these guys every day. And the base of our young talent has such upside potential that it's really exciting for us and the organization, and I think our fans will feel the same way.
What value did you guys get out of practicing in here today versus St. Vincent?
Well, we get to practice in front of our front office people. We had I don't know how many people we had down here, like 50 or 60 or something like that came in, and that was the reason we were over here. But having the opportunity to practice on your floor you play on is always a good thing. As much as we love having 2 courts over there and the facilities and so on and so forth, coming in here every once in a while to feel the different kind of surroundings, atmosphere, etc., is a very good thing.
What areas have you seen Chris develop the most in the past year or so?
Well, there have been many, but getting an entire year under your belt in the NBA, you learn a lot. You learn a lot about the day-to-day habits that you have to cultivate to keep your head clear, to keep your body strong, and to keep playing at a high level. He went through some injury stuff last year, and this summer he made great strides with his recovery from that, and also, worked hard in the weight room, did a lot of things that hopefully, create a shield of prevention for that kind of thing. I mean, injuries are going to happen, but when you're in the best possible shape and you're strong, it can minimize things somewhat. So he's worked very hard there. Right now he's been working with our first group, which is something that he's earned. And I just feel like he can play a role that's very important for us at both ends. I think he can score the ball. He shoots the ball well. He drives it. His passing's improved. And defensively, I think he's looking forward to taking on the challenge of some of the better offensive players this year.
What's the number one thing needed to be fixed or ironed out before Wednesday against the Wizards?
Well, we're spending a lot of time on defense. And, when they come in here, that's Bradley Beal, who's a great player, who's an all-star. Porzingis, who I coach, is a super talented guy, and he's been an all-star. Washington's made some moves. I mean, they got Will Barton now. They got Monte Morris. Kuzma had a good year for them last year. I mean, they got a lot of guys that, have skill, that have experience, that can score the ball, and it'll be challenging to guard them. And with the emphasis that we've put on getting our defense better, that's really going to test us.
How have you seen this defense improve?
Well, I like what we're doing. We've changed a little bit of our approach, but we've spent a very big chunk of time on it, and I do see us getting better. The game tomorrow night against New York, the second preseason game, will be a good test for us. I mean, their physicality and shot creators really bothered us last game, so we're going to have to adjust and do better there. But as we go along, I mean, we'll always have to make some slight adjustments. But there's, the biggest adjustment always when it comes to defense is going to be, a high level of hard play. So we're going to really stress that.
Daniel played all this week, or will you just keep him out as well, Daniel?
No, he'll be out this week. I don't anticipate him playing either game. And then, as we head into the beginning of next week, we'll see where we are. But he's making progress, but not there yet. And we want to bring him along slow. I mean, the guy went through a long grind, with Eurobasket.
How about Aaron? Have you learned anything new in the last few days about him, or is it kind of still day to day?
Just that he's working very diligently on his rehab. He's feeling better. And the hope is that this can be something that's shorter than longer, There's no set timetable, but, we obviously would hope that he could make a full recovery before the season starts against the Wizards. But we'll have to see. We're still only a few days into this.
How do you anticipate using that spot? Would it be O'Shea, James Johnson, Kendall? That wing in the second unit?
Yeah, I mean,
if he misses time.
Kendall's been taking reps with that second group at times. There's a chance that O'Shea could bump to 3 and play three with whoever the 2 and the 1 are. I mean, there's a lot of possibilities, but we'll see, and we'll see how the roster shakes out too as well. I mean, we're going to have to make some decisions on that, in the not too distant future.
And then last thing, what do you remember from the fan jam with that kid? How did that exactly transpire for you? Was it Buddy and that kid?
All of a sudden, the kid had Buddy's jersey on, and he was playing.
Yep. And
then I just interviewed him real quick. Mm-hmm. Asked him how he got in the game, and he said he asked. So, I mean, I don't know. Maybe that'll give our fans some ideas when it comes to regular games too. But whatever the case, it was pretty impressive. I mean, the kid goes out there and runs around and runs a give and go, and then scores a bucket. I mean, the place went crazy. So.
Do those points count in the game?
Probably.
I don't remember.
2-point win. It's a big shot.
Overtime.
Yeah.
Well, it helped them get to overtime for sure. It's a good question. I don't know the answer. I'm guessing they probably didn't count it, but I could be wrong.
Check the video.
Yeah, go ahead.
You've had Miles only playing in the first half so far. Is that just precautionary? I've seen ice on his knees when he's sitting on the bench with him not playing in the third quarters at all yet.
Yeah, it's just been, his minutes have been heavy in the first half of those first two games. He's been playing 16 to 18, which is a good run. In fact, in the first game, may have played him a minute or two too much. But no, that's just, was the plan. And then going into this game, I think there's a chance we'll play him into the second half.